Okay, so today we will solve this one word search, pretty popular problem. So let's make it. So this is the problem, and firstly we would see to ensure it exists, or it's working possible to be present. Um, for the word to be present, it must be possible to format with path in the code with horizontal or vertically enabling cells. Okay, either we go vertically or horizontally, and the same cell may not be used twice. So this is important. We have to make sure that we don't end up using one cell twice. So, okay, we have cat. Once we see, find the C, we do A, we do T. If this exists, we return true, otherwise false. Then we have this one. What is it called? B. We want to find BA. Then we do horizontal vertical cells. This one, no. If not A, then A. That would exist. So this one's going to return false. Okay. So recommended time complexity should be O of n times 4. And okay, I think it makes sense. Okay, so this recommendation basically it helps because I would be going through that specific cell row, like that specific index, and then do an additional 4 searches, right? Like 4 DFS calls. Okay. Firstly, I want to make it a bit concrete, the plan. What are we supposed to use? It's clear that it's a graph cursor, right? But what should we use? My intuition is using yep, that's a pro where I would be go deep, go deeper into one path and kind of backtrack if needed. So suppose if I had us, what? Suppose I went to this one, right? CB. Then it didn't help me to find cat. Then we backtrack. Okay, so for a normal case, what did we do? Let's track it. We went to C, then went to A, went to D. So we found the word, we return. But if it was C and B, in that scenario, for C and B, we don't want B, we want A. We have to backtrack and find, and let's say we backtrack to D. We don't also want that, so what we want is backtrack to A. can go up. So A, and then we would find D. So I hope it is very intuitive. I'm not gonna lie. That whole cascade which I'm seeing inherently pushes me to use DFS, depth first search, and definitely we can do it using BFS, like level order traversal. In that case, I would have to kind of okay. Let's try to formulate our practice. Suppose I would use BFS, right? Breadth first search. What happens in breadth first search? We do level order. We explore all the nodes at that level. Suppose we had A, then our C. Okay, so we would uh, explore all the neighbors of C possible. So it would be C, B, D, A, B, D, A, right? That level. Then for B, we would then A, A, C, A, C, A, C, and we can't use that C because it's already used. If we, yeah, so that's the problem. Let's try to color it differently. Then our D would have T and T and C. C is gonna be like this, and then A would have E, A, T, A, A, T, A, T, C. So this would be kind of scenario, but we would have to basically we would have to keep what we would have to know the row column. We would have to know the index, like the current position, as well as our index of the word we are at. So index of the letter in the word we are at, and we would also have to know the visited tracks. So I would say visited. So that would be it. We can do it this way, um, for sure. But okay, we will try to do both then. I don't care. Let's see how time is the time. Okay. We have around 8 minutes. Okay. So firstly, what I would do is do the DFS approach. Okay. Uh, the way I would do it is, yeah. Okay, let's take the rows and column down. The row is equal to uh, for size columns is equal to for 0 size. Once I had that, we can iterate through the whole r is 0, r is less than what rows, r plus plus, and we would have this previous is less than columns C++. Once I have that, those columns, what I would do is if that specific character RC is equal to the word first letter, I would start my TFS, sorry, get first search TFS. So it's going to be TFS row column and the specific position, which is what? Right. Looks like the word is 0. So it's going to be 0. So yeah, that should be it. And let's see what else we need for our test. We would return our boolean. Surely. And that would receive and row column. We would have what? We would do both. Yep. For the grid, then we would also row column. Before that, I would find the index. So index is 0. We would do 4 here, and we would word here. Also, we need to have a visited array, like to the array. The reason is if we are traversing this, like we go through a C, B, and if either returns false, suppose if this is false, I don't want to go that route, right? Suppose I have a requirement like CAD and get it there. So CAS, yeah, CAS. So I go through this route. Oh, we can use that. Suppose so we are looking for CAD, right? If I go to this route, like C, A, and A, then I want to make sure that this is visited as false, because right, yeah, we don't want to go down that route. So that's where we're caching it. For our visited array should be beauty vector, right? Because we would have a specific row for using columns, and each one would have, we should be able to identify cells and visited. Just think about it. So we have this, okay, 2, 2, and 1. Let's see in this one. I want to mark this as either true or false. This should be A should be false. Doesn't match with the index, right? So that's why we need it, because if I visit this, it would be true, it would be true, and then this one would be also true. Now, at the next turn, if I go back to this position, it's already true. Or yeah. Started 90 DFS, and that's many things I do. Um, Now we have to have visited as reference, because it would be, for instance, yeah. So vector would have vector of vector of what? Boolean. Then what do we want to do? We want to duplicate assign the rows, then our size is gonna be, sorry, the value is gonna be a vector of booleans. And the size here is gonna be orange, that is false. Right? Yeah, rows. So now, and I have that I can do. Okay, we are going as per the rows and columns. First thing I do is like if I is less than 0 or greater than large, the rows or less than 0 greater than or equal to, or once there we are at the boundary, we are beyond the boundary, which are false, and probably it's gonna be distance, don't one word, so let's just use a private address specifier here. And the between columns here, as well as and so like this, the values will keep on passing here for let's use it. And then my second check is going to be if the cell we just landed, if visited or our C is equal to 2, it's already visited, we will just return false, because we can be using we can be using the same cell twice. C A is not, so we C A, and then A is not an option. It has to be A, and then either B, C, or S. Okay, so that's one thing. We return it. Then what do we do? Yeah. Good. Oh no, no, we could check here that we have reached the end of the array. So if index is equal to size is which is equal to 1 dot size into right? Yeah, once we'll finish the word, right? Yeah, yeah. And we could do the best. It was really fun. Go to um, yes, column plus one, so it's going to row plus one. So important. That's plus one. Uh, forward, word is the visited quantities. This as friends visited. So visited. Oh, that can mean to without the market as visited. Now it's good. So it's gonna be visited. C is true. If it's true, we would do on the C plus one. C index plus one. Board word is equal to and this, not this. So what are the other options? I plus one, I plus one, go up. Then we would have the first one go right or go left. And we would just turn, let's just back to the side. What do you call it? We will go on that bit. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's see. If if it's if it's true, return true. So if this is true, return true. Like false. Okay. Second, try to do like that. We have ABCD. Mhm. Let's get the key. Single E. If that's the case, then let's see. There's music on here. So I would start from B, A, okay? Omega 2. So it's B, 2. That time I would see it. It's S, temperature 2. What are the potential debugging points I have? I reach, I reach what? This one, this will be handled by my visited. It will return false, it will return false, because the index is for matched, right? What we have to do is, we didn't do the main check here. See, we would have to do if uh, for R C is not equal to word index return false. We check that word right with specific character. So old RC is not the word index return false. It should be index is equal to size minus 1 because we go from 0 to last. Yeah, last is yep. Wait, 26 out of 32, not bad. See what's happening. We are going to this project. We would have what? There's inputs. Mhm. This does exist. This up will be return false. It's true. And false, false. Check. Our index is already -1. If that's the case, we cover 32. But we could use the index right to calculate this. Unmark it. Once we've done visited, unmark it, right? So what happened was, when we are sketching the piece, so we mark it as like for visited, mark it here, mark it as true, mark it as true. If you go here, then if you go here and here, we mark this or that as true. Now, for when I'm done with this track, I would put this iteration, the specific path. I would have to mark it as false as well, right? Otherwise, it would confuse the uh, rest of my calculations, because it is happening with uh, you're being it like this, pass by reference. So once we are done visiting in a specific traversal or path, for example, this is our DFS, right? Before and after, we have to mark uh, the visited row and column, like that specific cell as visiting. So if for A we would have visiting through here, this here also we would have true, but we won't be able to process it because our if that's true, we would return false, or well, this is also not equal to wording, that's the main reason. A revenue expert match. So false, not because or it is it is true. Okay, but